Hello, my name is Anna, his name is Maxi, and he likes to take naps on the arm of our sofa, which is very cute. But when he wakes up and stretches, his little claws go into the sofa, which has caused some damage. I don't think it's a big problem, but it is a great opportunity for me to learn how to make a quilt to protect the sofa so he can keep napping there whenever he likes. Now for the quilt, I want it to be a patchwork quilt. Not a very complicated one because I've never made one before, but just little squares. But for that, a while ago, I went online and I bought some scraps secondhand from other people who had leftovers from their projects. So I have options. We have this orangey kind of leaves, that's cute. Orange and white gingham, more orange. This is just a plain yellow. I don't really love this, but it was a pack. This I think is cute, but I really don't have a lot of it. This is quite fun. Birds. This, which I think is nice. Those were all the yellows and oranges. Someone sold them in just like a package deal. I also have some pink stuff that I couldn't resist. This has unicorns, and probably my favorite fabric in the world, which I've used a bunch of times. I've had it for a while. I've used it for lining in a bag, things like that. It's pink cats. And need I say more? I don't think you can go wrong with this. I also have this, which I love. It's llamas. I don't think I want to use this for a patchwork quilt though, because these llamas are quite large and I don't want to cut into them, but I'm thinking, what if this is the backing and then it's reversible? Do people do that? Do they do reversible quilts? Probably, right? So these, and then I have a few other options for backing as well. All of them are blue, because apparently I have a lot of blue fabric. So there's this, which is leftover denim, and I should say I want to make quite a small quilt, so I think maybe I have enough? I'm not sure. There's this, which is a canvas. It's a bit heavier. And then I also have this cotton twill. Yeah, I don't know yet which one I want to use. I think we should probably measure how large it has to be, because I quite like this light denim, but I don't know if it's enough. But yeah, let's see. All right, let's see. So this is just under a meter, and then around 30 centimeters. All right, I've checked, and there is just enough. Oh, hello. There is just enough of this blue denim to work as the backing. So currently in the run for the backing, we still have this blue denim or this very fun llama print. And Maxi is getting very involved. He wants to play with everything. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. So for the front, for the actual patchwork, I'm thinking I'm just gonna stick to squares because I've never done it before. I want to keep it a little bit simple, but I do think I need to pick a color scheme. It's either pink or yellow and orange, and I don't know. I like both. I like both options. Should I make two quilts? All right, so maybe we'll just do one in one color scheme, and then if I really like it, I'll make another one with the other option. I do think I'm going to start with the orange and yellow because we have some other orange pillows already on the sofa, so at least that's gonna sort of match. So I'll just start with these. I also have more options here. There's so much cat hair on this. Oh well. All right, let's cut some squares. I've been thinking a lot lately about crafting and hobbies and what they mean. On a very simple level, I think it's just healthy to have hobbies, something you do for fun, for the enjoyment of it. But actually, when I think about it, there's so much more to it. Without going into too much detail, I had a really hard time last year, to put it mildly. And when I started to recover a little bit from just the initial shock of something really bad happening to me, I suddenly found myself with this urgent desire to paint a wall. Now, this was something I had been meaning to do for a while, paint a wall in our bedroom. I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. But suddenly it felt incredibly important that I get this done because I needed to prove to myself that I could. I wanted the experience of having a thought or a want and, in a way, exerting a little bit of control by making it a reality. I wanted to prove to myself that I could affect the world around me and make something happen, even something as small as painting a wall in my home. When something terrible happens to you, it can make you feel so powerless. Because you are. If you had the power to change the thing, you would, but you don't have that power. So I've been thinking a lot about crafting and the idea of agency. To me, the act of making something because I want to is an expression of just pure, condensed agency. I want this, I'm doing this, I've done this, now it's here. For me, crafting and creating have been a really key part of dealing with and working through, in my case, grief. And by the way, when I say crafting, I mean that in the broad sense of creating something that wasn't there before. It can be sewing, it can be knitting, painting, woodworking, whatever. But the point is not that you make something you can touch. The point is that you make something, right? My wife plays bass, she makes music. I play D&D with my friends, we tell stories. Those are both really creative hobbies, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that these hobbies are more than just the things we do for fun. They can be so nourishing and healthy, and I'm very happy to allow myself to chase that feeling and do the things that bring me joy, both by myself and together with other people. Originally, I wanted to use more of the blue. Hold on. So originally I wanted to use the same blue denim for the binding, but turns out I don't have enough because of poor planning on my part. So instead I'm just going to use more of this orange leafy fabric. One side of the lining is on. Now all I need to do is flip it over and stitch it down on the other side. The one tutorial I did look at on YouTube by a channel called Lovecrafts, I'll link it. That tutorial said to do that by hand, which is not gonna happen. Maybe I would do it for a quilt that I had really put a lot of effort into. This one in my head I'm referring to as my practice quilt. So I'm going to machine sew that and then I'll show you. The mini quilt is done. It's not, what's the word? Good. All right, hold on now. It's several days later and I was initially so negative about the quilt because it didn't turn out perfect. Of course it didn't. It was my first try. But I recorded this whole clip where I was talking about all the things I'd do differently if I tried again and basically apologizing for how bad it was. But now I've had a couple nights sleep and I've gained some wisdom. I am actually really happy with how it turned out. No, it's not perfect, but that wasn't the point. As I was talking about earlier, all I wanted was the experience of, hey, I want to make a quilt. Then I make it and then I've made it. And I have that. And after several days of it being in our living room, I love it. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. And also, I did really enjoy making it. And I did actually make a second one with the more pink color scheme. And I did make some changes. I feel like I've learned a lot from the first one and I immediately applied what I learned to this second one. Now, is this one perfect? No, but that's fine. It doesn't need to be. So with this one, what I did differently, first I made the squares a little bit bigger. They were 10 by 10 centimeters on the orange and yellow one. And then on this one, they're 12 by 12 centimeters. So this is overall a little bit bigger, even though it uses fewer squares. I did also offset the squares so you don't notice as much that they don't line up perfectly. On the orange one, if you really look at it, you can see it really clearly. But again, after several days of having it around, normally you're not super close to it and you're not paying attention to, oh, are all the corners perfect? At least I don't. So it really doesn't bother me that they're not perfect. But on this one, I wanted to try and see what it would look like if I did offset the squares a little bit to kind of fix that tiny issue. And I really like it. I think it looks even better. I did also slightly change how I did the binding. On the orange one, you can see that it's really uneven because rather than stitch it all by hand, I did it with my machine and I did it from the back, which ended up with a really uneven stitch line on the front. With this one, I gave myself lots of room on the back and then stitched it down from the front also with my machine because I just can't be bothered to do it by hand. But because of that, it looks much more even on the front. And yes, it's a bit loose on the end. Well, not loose, but there's just a lot of overhang. But it doesn't bother me, especially because this is the back side anyway. And it's not like all the raw edges are encased, so it's not a problem. So I'm really happy, both with the orange one, because I think it's a good first try. And especially with this one, this is also a color scheme that is a little more appealing to me. I like the orange and yellow. It's very bright, it's very happy, I guess, but I just prefer pink over orange, I think. So I really, really like this. And I also just have a soft spot for cute little animals. So yeah, that's that's it. I've made 2 mini quilts for a sofa. I will leave you with some video of Maxi actually enjoying his quilts and using them. And yeah, this was definitely worth trying. I had a good time.